We get way too excited for this.
I really do. My favorite part is I'm in outer space looking down at Earth.
You know what, Jason? You are out of this world.
Isn't it cool though?
I had to say it.
I think it's like I think it's Asia. Does it look like Asia? Like I'm gonna move it away. Like I feel like. What do you think? Is this Asia?
Do you really think I know?
No, I don't.
It's Asia.
I don't. I was giving you more credit than I should. Is that what you're saying?
Right now, yes. Geography? Yeah. Is that geography when you're talking about like the globe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, moving on.
Please.
How are you?
I'm okay. I mean, I'm doing my best to keep busy. I'm doing a lot of behind the scenes real estate stuff, getting prepped and getting ready, trying to build out systems for when I can unleash. Because I think a lot of people are getting the real estate thing wrong right now. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit later on. But the first thing I want to talk about is you had a cool chat just before we started to connect for Sam Jason Unfiltered. So
I had a little girly chat.
Yeah, do you just want to tell everybody about it and then just
so I don't know, you guys might have seen these cute fun little things that have been kind of surfacing around. It's not called cross stitch. It's
needlepoint.
Instead of like, because cross stitch is more of like this crisscross. But anyway, her name is Jaimie Feener, and she's from Feener and Thread, and she's been doing these awesome artistic designs. But in this different kind of way. What I love about it, what is the official name of it, I guess? Like stitching, it's not cross stitch. What's the thing you said?
Needlepoint.
Needlepoint. I don't know why I can't remember.
So she's taking like Dr. Haggie's hilarious quotes like, don't let your kids lick the handlebar and like that kind of stuff. And she's creating these needlepoint phrases. And it's hilarious. Anyway, so you had a little conversation with her. So let's just let everybody watch that, and then we'll be back in a sec. Okay, enjoy.
I'm very excited to have a special guest today. We are being joined by Jaimie from Feener and Thread. Jaimie, welcome to Sam and Jason Unfiltered.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you being here and taking the time to chat with us. I mean, what else are you going to do, right?
Yeah, right.
So Jaimie, why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I am, I guess you could say, an embroidery artist. So a lot of people think it's cross stitch, but cross stitch is a lot of like patterns. I'm self-taught. I like to kind of go and do my own thing. So yeah, I just stitch up different things that I like. I do a lot of embroidery hoops. I've done clothing. I'm wearing my embroidered turtleneck right now.
You're giving me goosebumps for some reason. Like, I love that. I think the main thing is that you mentioned that you're self-taught, which I think is super cool. And I'm going to try and keep this short because I can talk for a really long time. Yeah. But specifically, you do things that, well, what I would consider to be like trending and kind of fun things based on what's happening in the world. You've built up quite a large following here, I know locally. I know a lot of people know your stuff, and mainly I think it's because of how unique it is, how talented you are, and you seem to really just pump out the right thing at the right time. So you've been getting a little bit of attention lately because of a few things that you've done. Do you want to just share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I have an older sister and a brother-in-law and a little baby nephew right now who is currently living in New York City. Oh. So with this whole pandemic, it's been super scary just being here, but then having family away and just being a little anxious of it all. I was like, I want to get my hands busy. So I was just like, I need to pick up my embroidery. When we had Snowmageddon, I actually did a movie series where I actually stitched like different 80s and 90s movies. So this is Pretty Woman.
God!
Yeah, so I did a stitch a day. So I did like Dirty Dancing, I did Ghost, the pottery scene. And then when this all started happening, I was like, I need to do this again. So I got involved with like the Tiger King, and I did Carol Baskin, if anyone's been watching, and then Joe Exotic himself.
Oh my God.
And this was just kind of like, just a laugh, right? Like just something to kind of like keep me busy.
Yeah.
And then, I kind of got into the, the daily updates.
Yeah. So we have, for the people who are maybe watching that are not from Newfoundland, but we have daily updates. And I know a lot of people have daily updates in regards to the COVID-19. And we have, certain professionals that speak at these updates. And, one of them being Dr. Fitzgerald. Am I right in saying that? And then Dr.
Yes,
Haggie. Right?
Yes, yeah.
And then, of course, our Prime Minister. And it's really funny because it's live. And as we know, live television is very unpredictable. And sometimes you say things that are like really funny, especially when it's live, but even more so because this is such a serious situation that we're in. It almost brought a little bit of humor. So I know that there was a couple lately that you've done, and I think it was directly related to kind of what we're going through. So if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, I think like anyone else at 2:00, normally when it happens, I'm highly anticipating like the numbers, any news. I know certainly when Snowmageddon, we shut down completely. So we're always hyper aware, I find. So whenever Dr. Haggie gets on and says what he needs to say, it's just, I think a part of it too is the accent. I just love it. But he just says it like it is. And he says it, it's just so funny. Like, I don't think sometimes he's trying to be funny, but it's just like, like the one that I first stitched was the shopping cart. He was like, if you need to take your kids with you to the grocery store, please don't let them lick the handle on the cart. And you're like, why does he even need to tell that to people? Like, but kids do that. Like you see
all the time.
Yeah. So I was talking to my mom and I was just like, Mom, I gotta go. I gotta stitch this. So I did the quote and then I stitched like a little shopping cart. And
so right away you saw that opportunity as something that you wanted to create, because I feel like that's a little bit of a trend with the things that you do. It's almost like they add a little bit of humor, or it's an opportunity to like build on something that's already trending or already interesting at the time, and then you can stitch it, and then it's like frozen in time and it's a memory that people can have forever. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah, and like embroidery takes a while too, especially when you don't have a pattern or you don't have a plan set out for it. So literally when that happened, I don't even think I had supper. I sat down for like 4 hours straight, just like stitching away. And then I put it out there, and you never know, like I was like, is Dr. Haggie gonna like this? Are people gonna like this? And he actually, his daughters and his assistant actually got it for him, and he loved it. He posted all over social media.
I know, I saw a photo of him holding it. And did any other media outlets pick it up, or was it on CBC? I think it was CBC, maybe the NTV News.
So,
anywhere else?
It's about CBC. Yeah, CBC was out. I think like Oz FM. A lot of people, like NTV,
so
everyone's been kind of sharing it.
Yeah, that's so great from a business perspective too.
And it's been nice because, I've been doing this now for 4 years, and sometimes it's hard to kind of get a following and just get known locally as well. So, I mean, I'm an occasional vendor at the farmer's market. Scout, who does the night markets in the summer, I've gone to her markets as well. So the followers and this exposure has been great. And Dr. Haggie now follows me on Feener and Thread. So I mean, goals. And Dr. Fitzgerald has written me as well.
No way.
Yeah, so it was super cool. Yeah.
That is amazing. I love that. And I love because it's allowing people to have a little bit of a laugh in a time that is like overly kind of hypersensitive. And like you said, getting that extra following is really great because a lot of people are kind of glued to their social media, glued to the news, and I'm sure as they're scrolling, it was a pleasant surprise to see something like that and make you smile and like break up the day a little bit. And there was another one I think you did too. Was that of Dr. Fitzgerald? Is that just a photo of her? Was it?
Yeah. So this one here is her. She always wears like a red scarf, so I kind of did her in a red blazer with the Wonder Woman symbol on it. And not all heroes wear capes. And if I had more time, I'd probably say they wear red sweaters or red scarf. And then the other one I did of Dr. Haggie was his comment he made about Tinder and Grindr, about if you swipe right, you might get more than you bargained for. So I stitched the actual Tinder app.
I just can't believe when I saw that circulating on social media, I was like, no. I was like, he didn't say that. This is a joke. And then when I went and I realized that he actually said that, I was like, this is hilarious. I'm
Yeah.
so glad to be living in a world that this has happened and that I can remember this for the rest of my life.
Exactly,
So
right?
thank you for taking that and putting it on something that now we can remember forever.
Thank you.
If there's anyone that wanted to purchase your artwork or reach out to you if they had any questions, because I know you do customized stuff too, I do believe, right?
Yeah, I do like pet portraits. I do a bunch of different things. I have a bunch of the ones from friends like Pivot.
I love that.
Monica as a turkey. I do a bunch of different things. Newfoundland.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And typically, how long does it take you to do one?
It could honestly, if I know, if I have the colors laid out, if I have the pattern, I know what I'm kind of doing. I can pump them out in like 3 to 4 hours if I'm really like, and it depends on the design. Like this is one of the bachelorettes. She's a bachelor. Actually, 2 of my pieces were actually purchased from TV producers of The Bachelor, which was really cool. Yeah.
Jaimie, that's incredible.
So those ones take a long time because they're the actual faces. But for anyone wondering, the shopping cart one was super popular. I think I have like over 20 of those that I need to do.
Wow.
So those are on hold for now. But I do have some of the other ones still available to purchase on my Etsy page. My Instagram, I always put out there, my Facebook, and I have my emails associated to those pages.
Okay. And Feener and Thread is the name of the Facebook page and the name of the Instagram page. We'll probably be able to post that below here. I'll get Dan to kind of put up a prompt to that.
Oh, great.
But Jaimie, thank you so very, very much for chatting with us today. We really, really appreciate it. I'm going to have to get my hands on one of those pieces because I feel like it's going to be one of these things that it's going to be a hot commodity. But thank you so much for chatting, and thank you for bringing a little bit of positivity in this crazy time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Have a good day, Jaimie. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was charming. How wonderful is she?
She's awesome. So before we were shooting that, we were chatting on Zoom for like a half hour, just like chatting. And I was like, okay, we really got to do this. We really got to do this.
Yeah, we got to get some work done.
Right? What I think I love the most about it is how she sees it as an opportunity to like it's trending or it's social, or like maybe people aren't even really making a big deal of it, but she takes it and puts it on this canvas.
She's branding herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that a couple actual, I think production companies have reached out to her and wanted actual versions of certain celebrities that she did, or were they casting companies or production companies? Yeah. But what I love the most about it is she takes these crazy sayings and puts them on your Nan's crochet thing. So it's like this polar opposite of really media forward and in your face, but here we're going to put it on your Nan's crochet and we're going to hang it in the bathroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a
so neat.
I had a cool phone call, well, an email actually just earlier today. Somebody who's with a local media production and marketing company, they're looking for people around town to create videos just to do a shout out supporting a lot of the frontline workers.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So I'm going to put one of those together either tonight.
I love that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the frontline workers, the people that are going to work every single day, putting their lives at risk. It's just incredible. And there's more than you think. The Dollarama's open,
Right. Because Dollarama sells a lot of grocery stuff.
Yeah. Which is it's incredible. It's amazing. It's such a different mindset from me waking up and being okay, I can't leave my house. And then these people have to get up and go every day just as if nothing was happening,
Yeah. Well, I mean, their lives, their jobs become extra important now.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's actually amazing. And I just they should be so proud of themselves. I saw a meme earlier and it was all student debt should be eliminated for essential workers. I was like,
wow.
I agree with that.
Imagine how incredible.
Can you imagine? Right?
That would be crazy. Wow.
But yeah, so it was great chatting with. Yeah.
Right.
It was great chatting with Jaimie. So yeah.
Let's. There's been a lot of people not happy about being isolated, and I mean, a lot of parents who are kind of like, I can't get a break from my kid, and there's a lot of business owners who are worried about things financially, and there's a lot of people who are just straight up day drinking and sleeping in and trying to pass the time. And so there is a lot of negativity floating around there. And I have succumbed to some of it too. I've been eating really, really poorly. However, both you and I very recently joined like a program, and I've done it before, and it worked really, really well for me. And I'm excited to go again.
So I will say that one week I saw Jason, and then the next week I saw Jason. And when I see Jason, I'm like, eh. And then this next week I saw Jason, I was like, damn. Just kidding, but not. You know what I mean? I was like, what's gotten into you? And he's like, yeah. And also when we would go out to eat, he's like taking a photo of his food, because this whole part of this plan is about accountability. You have to show what you're eating.
Yeah.
And so he'd be taking pictures of his meals, and then he was like, slimming out. I was like, what is going on? But this is what's happening. So what we're doing is we're basically cutting down sugar. We're not eating any fake sugar. Like you're way better at explaining it.
Yeah, it's like okay. So I know a woman. Her name is Kathy Rowe. She owns a business called Eat Real Therapy, and she's a nutritional therapist. That's what she does, a practical nutritional therapist. And her program doesn't revolve around like being on a diet. You're not on a diet. It's got nothing to do with it. Eat as much of whatever as you want. It's just that the only rule is you only eat real food. So things that aren't processed. That's it. As long as it's real. And it goes back to, I remember her explaining it to me, it kind of goes back to like an evolutionary theory. Like we have evolved to be able to handle certain types of foods. And that comes from like generations and generations and hundreds of thousands of years of becoming the Homo sapiens in the form that we are now. And we didn't get here by eating things out of a can or out of a box or out of a bag, right? So it's all just based around real food. So there's a lot less preservatives, a lot less things like inorganic compounds, right? There's nothing really man-made. And I had a massive amount of success with it before. And I mean, I trimmed down a bit, but the reason I'm doing it, I mean, you can speak to your side. I mean, it's I'm no stranger to talking about mental health. Independent research, I found that a lot of what she teaches is really good for anxiety, depression, and ADHD, because your brain, when it runs on the right kind of fuel, operates way better than when it doesn't. And I mean, it's kind of funny, like forever we knew that from here down in our body was affected by what we ate. But nobody ever clued in that from here up was also, right? So that's my move. That's why I'm doing it.
Well, I've only been doing it, this is my second day, but normally I'll junk out at night, and I didn't do that last night. I woke up feeling amazing.
And that's
like
only a day.
It's only been one day, and I know I'm probably going to plateau. I know I'm probably going to have withdrawals. I'm probably going to be a little bit irritable, but I felt really, really already, I felt the effects. And I'm not just trying to say that because I don't get any benefit in telling you that, just by being honest. But I really actually felt really good. And one thing that she did mention, because we were all on a Zoom call, and she was talking about how, I think it was the late 80s, early 90s, they had this marketing thing come out where they were saying like fat is bad, sugar is good, right? And so that's why we had the like food triangle the way it was and all that kind of stuff, and how when you see something that says fat free, you assume it's good for you, and then it's actually not. And like you're better off
the fat out of stuff, you take the flavor out.
The flavor. So then they were adding sugar. Right. And it's actually like sugar has no real nutritional value. And
it does
fat
nothing
is,
for you.
You're better off eating fat. Now, obviously I'm not a nutritionist and do not take my advice, but based on what I've learned, it seems like your fats are way healthier than your sugar.
If they're the right ones, right? Like let's be firm
more
on
specific.
That. Like,
the right kind of fat, like avocado fat.
Or that even like, and this is not a like she doesn't teach any particular type of diet. It's not like paleo or keto or vegetarian or vegan, because like it's all types of foods. That's what I like about it. Like it's a holistic approach. It's like
and it's more of like a lifestyle shift.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which I think is cool.
Yeah, and now, I mean, I'm doing a lot less running around. I'm at the house. I'm going to be cooking anyway. Like I wasn't like she does these 8-week programs every so often. I wasn't going to do it again, but I mean, I'm home all the time anyway. So the timing is great, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I found that I was eating more frequently throughout the day because I'm home and I'm bored. So I'm like, but now if you can, like, let's prepare a really healthy chili that you can pick at all day long, or like, you know, make it
or
nice
throughout the week. You can have it for lunch. Like, so
and it's kind of fun finding alternatives, and feeding yourself with good food just feels better.
It makes your brain work better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But unless she's going to pay us, we should stop talking about it.
Okay.
What else do you want to talk about? What do you got on your agenda today? I'm letting you run this one.
Well, you know what? I feel like the whole situation that we're in right now has shifted from okay, this is probably gonna be over in a couple weeks, to like, I think we're all bunkering down for the long haul.
Yeah, we got a while. We got a while.
Yeah, and I think I just want to say that I am in the same boat as everybody else, and that we can do this. And they're saying that we're gonna get a surge, and I'm like, I don't think so. I feel like everyone's just doing such a great job of staying home. What do you think? Do you see people out not obeying the rules?
I mean, I've had to go since I've been locked up here. I've gone for groceries twice, I guess.
Yeah.
And the stores aren't packed, but there's like a lineup. I tell you, man, I'm so impressed with Costco.
Yeah.
Man, they're handling this so well.
Yeah.
So well. They're doing, like, while you're in there, there's people walking around with wipes, wiping down everything, and
everything.
They're just so good. So I've gone to Costco twice since the order was put out, where you should be social distancing and avoiding unnecessary visits out in the public or whatever. And I don't see too many people breaking the rules, really.
I read something interesting the other day, and it was about how people are trying to find loopholes in how to see their family and their friends. So I think it started with like driving and like meeting up somewhere and then chatting from your car. And then people started to get a little bit more brave, and what they would do is they kind of hang out in a circle of people, but you were all staying a substantial distance away from each other. And
but that's a foot in the door. And once it gets easier and easier and easier to break the rules once you got your foot in the door.
Yeah, so I think that's challenging. It's like you're starting to cross a line there, and then it's like, well, if I'm 4 feet, then, you know, nothing happened, and we'll all get 2 feet, then nothing happened. You know, I've also heard of people that are just started out new relationships, and they're dating or meeting someone new, and they're kind of taking that risk, and it just, like Dr. Hagee said, and Jaimie,
if you swipe right on Grindr or Tinder, you might get more than you bargained for.
Yeah. So funny.
Man, listen, if he runs for premier, he got my vote. Just saying.
100%. And like, Dr. Fitzgerald. I would elect her.
Yeah. You would? All by yourself? Just you?
Just me.
I'm thinking I might run next time around.
I think you do great.
No, I gotta wait. Maybe once I'm 37 now. Maybe once I'm 40, I could get into politics. I think that'd be fun.
I think start doing a little bit of research now, because knowledge is power, and then build it all up, and then
deal.
You know what I mean?
Also, we have less than 3 minutes.
Are you joking?
You spent too much time talking to Jaimie. You never had any time for me.
Jaimie was so awesome. I think she's amazing. So, you know, maybe what we could do is, I think Jason and I are almost not tired of talking about COVID, but I think maybe the next episode we'll try and like
move on,
stay away from it a little bit, just bring you guys something fresh and new, because it's like our new normal right now. So let's just kind of be normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. What do you think the right move for closing out this show?
Yeah.
What do you think the right move to close this show is?
Oh, to close the story, you froze there. I think it's like the out of the world background, but you froze there. Well, all I want to say is that we're still here and we're not going anywhere. We're still trying to build momentum with this show.
Yeah.
We hope you're all staying safe, and maybe if you guys want to head over to Sam and Jason Unfiltered on Instagram, you can send us a DM if you've got anything that you think we should bring to a, to the forefront here, and we could discuss it.
And that's it's at Sam Jason Unfiltered, one word.
Right. One word.
And if you DM that, you'll actually be talking to Sam because she doesn't let me look at it.
Which is true.
It's true.
Which is true.
But I'm going to start a Facebook page, and everybody's going to follow the Facebook page and message me, and I'm not letting you in.
It's linked to my personal Instagram. I just don't want you in there. Okay?
All right, Tiger. Easy.
And we're out of time.
No, we got a minute left. I just said easy there, Tiger. Speaking of tigers.
We didn't even talk about it. There's a tiger with COVID, just saying.
Is that something?
In the States. And they're not testing any of the zookeepers right now because no one's symptomatic. So they're not testing anybody.
I feel like this has
again,
something to do with Carol Baskins did it.
I know. It's just like a big old marketing. I mean, we could have talked about more conspiracy theories this entire show.
Do you have more?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll get those next time because we're almost out of time here. I want to let everybody who's watching know that we're really happy to provide as much content as we can to keep everybody entertained and do something. Roger's there and got your back. Sam got your back. She's right there. I do too, and we're all here.
Yeah, we love you guys.
All right, and I guess we'll see you next time now.
We'll see you next time. A week.
Bye.
The following program is brought to you by Rogers Anyplace